Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MXGP 2020. We're going to be here in Lommel in Belgium, and it's time for the Grand Prix. And yes, it's raining again. So here we go, waiting for the grids to drop, and away we go. There's a decent start, and of course it is raining, so we're going to have to be trying to be smooth on the acceleration as we go. Wow, what a whack that was on the left-hand side. There's now Powerland takes over at the front. I see Jeremy Seawer, Glenn Koldenoff, and Tim Geiser up there as well. Clement Desal, our biggest championship rival right now, as Desal is only 10 points behind us, meaning me, the British riders. We dive over the inside. Goodness me, that was a bit of an aggressive move up at the inside of the man on board the Kawasaki, as Clement Desal is holding on to the 5th position as things stand. Whether the rain is going to stop in this one, I have no idea, but for now, the track is extremely muddy and extremely wet, so we'll have to be very, very careful on the acceleration, as already mentioned. But now onto the left-hand side, we're going to be trying to go around the outside of Jeffrey Hurlings. We must be careful on this jump here, because it can be very easy to just land it and then crash immediately. I've done that too many times. Whoa! I must be careful with the scrubs on this one. On Monster Energy, I do find the scrubs feel fantastic, but in MXGP, I do tend to struggle a little bit. So I don't think I'll be scrubbing as much as I would have wanted to. A little whip here and there is not too bad, but the full scrub, it does tend to throw me off a little bit. And actually, I mentioned the weather. It has actually stopped for the time being, as Jeffrey Hurlings, what a beautiful manoeuvre that was, going up at the inside of the current World Championship leader. The current red plate holder, of course, the number 461, Matt Grant for you and I, basically me, as we now go on to the tabletop section, a longer tabletop section where things are a little bit spread out a bit more, but we picked up a lot of speed going towards the KTM man up ahead of us. But now we have made the move and we are up into 6th position. For a long time now. We need to start pushing forward to chase down Clement Desal, otherwise he's going to take some more points away from us, albeit not a lot. But there's still points to be lost, and we don't want to be lost. And where there's points to be gained, we want to be gaining some wonderful championship points. But now onto the right hand side, difficult point of this track, because you have to be very careful on the acceleration to really get the best out of the Yamaha, and this time not really much. I did lose a bit of time, and Clement Desal right now is on a tear. He's flown through on Tonnes, and it looks like he's going to be chasing down the rest of them any moment now. I do believe Glenn Koldenoff is still up there, just a little bit further ahead, just going past the pit straight, of course, as you can see on your screen right now. But now on the right-hand side we'll go. Only 38 seconds remaining until we start, the final 2 laps of this race 1. The Grand Prix itself is, of course, going to be 2 races, with race 2 coming straight after this one. It's in the same video, of course. And actually, something I wanted to mention is, would you prefer the races to be split up into 2, so we'll have a race 1 video and then have a race 2 video? Let me know in the comment section down below. For the time being, I'm probably going to stick as this is the way it's going to be for the rest of this game. But of course, the MXGP 2021 being announced, and I think it said for this year, so hopefully we won't have to wait too long. But also, depending on when it comes out, I'm going to have to try and gauge when to complete this particular championship. So maybe expect to see more MXGP 2020 championship videos being uploaded just on the start or just before. Oh no, I've gone off track there. Oh, obstacle avoided. I could have got back on the track there. The game says otherwise. But what I was saying is that expect to see more MXGP videos, because of course we have to get this championship finished before the release of MXGP 2021. Of course, if you enjoy these videos, then more for you, I guess. Quids in. You get to see more MXGP content courtesy from DrAce, of course. And I'm very keen to see what MXGP 2021's going to be about. I do believe it's going to be very similar, but in the same time going to probably improve in the areas of which we really want to be improved. So I would like to see the same amount of detail that they show in Monster Energy Supercross 4 into MXGP 2021. And what I'm talking about is like the goggles really filling up with dirt and having to clean them throughout the race, because it just feels more natural. And when riding in helmet cam, it really feels quite interesting and entertaining, in the sense of that you get a sense of like, this is getting difficult to see now, I can't really see what's happening, let me just pull off the tear off, and then there we go, we're back into it again. I like that feature, and when it's wet and muddy, it really gets dirty and really gets really heavy on the goggles, and that's what I'm looking for in MXGP 2021 as well. And I think a lot of things like physics are going to be upgraded. Then maybe the rider's movement on the bike, because my biggest complaint in MXGP 2020 was that the riders look a bit ugly in third person perspective, the chase cam as people call it, hence the reason why I play so much MXGP within the helmet cam, and I think the helmet cam in MXGP is fantastic though. It feels awesome, it feels really exhilarating, going very high, and what on earth has just happened then? An absolutely massive moment as Cairoli time is in effect with the last 2 laps remaining. The Italian behind is in the Cairoli mood and he is fancying a chance to beat me, and and guess who it is? It's Tony Cairoli, so of course we have to be very, very careful that Cairoli doesn't take away our 6th position and pushes us back down to 7th. And of course there is another rider behind him who is also in pursuit of this 6th position, and we've basically just given it to him. Goodness me, we've gone off the track. Clement Desal is now on the podium. He's battling it out with Paulan, but Paulan fights back. Geyser leads the race so far. Race 1 is certainly going to be very entertaining towards the end of this one, because Clement Desal and Paulan are just battling it out. They really are. Look how many times it's changed on the left-hand side of your screen there, ladies and gentlemen. I have made an absolute blunder. Cairoli is through. The 9 times world champion is through and is now taken my 6th position. Now we're stuck in 7th. We're going to have to dig down deep to try and regain that position on the final lap of this race 1. Now we have Hurlings behind us as well. Another hard-charging, fast KTM rider within Jeffrey Hurlings. I don't fancy battling with Hurlings. We've already seen him once or twice in this race already. I don't fancy seeing him once again, so we're going to do everything we can now to try and stay behind Cairoli. We do look like we are chasing him down somewhat, so hopefully we'll have an opportunity to get past the Italian and hopefully thwart Jeffrey Hurlings' chances of getting past us as well. So around the outside of Cairoli we go. That is a massive leap. This might not be good. I didn't think it was going to be good then. Did not feel the sense of control or landing on that one then. My goodness, what a hefty crash that actually was. As we're now at Hurlings, I mentioned him being a hard charger. Look at the aggression he's just shown to get through. The Dutchman now up into 7th position as we've been pushed back down to 8th place. The World Championship leader is on the back foot here. He's on the ropes. Oh, massive moment. Oh, we're absolutely fighting it. Tank slapper there, everything. We could not stop the motorcycle there. Look at the gaggle of riders behind us now after that horrendous moment for Matt Grant. The number 461 is all over the shop in this one right now. I don't think the riders behind know what to do. I don't think they can get on through because they're just looking at me thinking he is an absolute wreck to not only himself but to others as well on the track. But we are holding on to 7th position, and I tell you what, get me over the finish line as soon as possible, because this has not been a great race for us, not at all. Not the race we expected here in Lommel, Belgium. So the end of race 1, Geyser leads away with Siwa, Desal, Paulan, Tonnes, Cairoli, Grant, Hurlings, Cavellin and Jacobi in 10th position. So your podium so far with Geyser, Siwa and Clement Desal. So race 2, it's still dry for the time being, so we'll go now as the grids drop. Hurlings to the right of us, Cairoli to the left of us. Here I am, stuck in a KTM sandwich with you as we go round the outside, going into the left-hander now. Can we get through on Jeremy Siwa and possibly Gautier Paulan? It's the Yamahas who have dominated off the line. 1, 2, 3 for the Yamahas going into the 4th corner as we now dive up on the inside. I see the right Alpine Stars boot there. Could possibly run across it if I'm going to be too close to Jeremy Siwa, but the Swiss man holding me off very, very well. And you know what? After the disaster, it was somewhat of a disaster. It wasn't the worst race in the world, but it wasn't great for us in that first race. Maybe now race 2 will sort of put things to bed, put us a little bit more momentum in our championship challenge. We get a massively please don't crash on the same thing. I felt like that was going to be the same crash as earlier on, but thankfully it looks like Grant had a bit more stability and control this time to land that motorcycle. But now behind another Yamaha, this time in Gautier Paulan, who fought to the death for that podium last time out in race 1. Of course, Paulan not really in the championship hunt, but this could be a great position for him to start his championship challenge as well. But we do get around the outside of Paulan, and we now have taken the lead, the British rider, up into the top position here today, here in Lommel, Belgium. So now into the tabletop section, travelling around 44, 45, 46 miles an hour, solid 4th gear. Look how well we've executed that corner. Look how far ahead we've got against the competition. What a recovery job this is for Grant, and look at that, the heavens have opened once again. Damn you, Milestone, for placing so much wet weather in MXGP 2020. Please fix that for the next game. Although, I do go strong in the wet, so I guess it's not all bad. Maybe I've paid someone to do a rain dance, maybe I'm hoping to get a victory here in the wet in Lommel, Belgium. Who knows, but all that matters is right now we are leading going underneath the city sign brilliantly done. 1:58.911 was our first lap, of course, starting from the standing start for the grid to drop. But we are leading this one, and I do feel extremely confident right now on board this Yamaha. I said since the beginning that I felt really good on the Yamaha, and the Yamaha really just speaks to me. It just feels good. You know, because some of the bikes I've used in the past, I felt a little bit off. Maybe they didn't have the quite power, or they just a little bit twitchy. This one just feels so good. It's just such a friendly machine. The Yamaha, but for me, is probably the best one in the series. I very much like it. I tend to use the Yamaha as well, even in Monster Energy Supercross, although the last time I was doing the career mode, we did use the Kawasaki, of course. For Team Green, because I know a lot of you guys do enjoy the Kawasaki's in any bike game, really, and even in real life. But with 12 seconds remaining of this race too, it looks like we're leading quite nicely, and that was a nice bit of a whip there. No, I said I wasn't going to do any scrubs, but I'm not against doing some whips, so more whips the better, I would say. And if anyone's thinking anything otherwise, not those kind of whips. We're referring to bike whips, of course. And I'm referring to Western cowboy whips, yeah? That's what we're talking about, right? Okay, moving on. We will have 2 laps remaining after this particular end of play, and we are leading by a country mile. So this is going to be smooth sailing as long as we don't make a mistake. That's what's all important. So across the line we will go. Grant sets us up for the final 2 laps, and there it is, 3.2 seconds to Jeremy Seewer. So it looks like the Swiss man has moved ahead of Powerland, and he is now into 2nd position. We did make a little bit of mistake there. The track is getting extremely bogged down now with the wet weather, so we're going to have to be very careful on the acceleration. You get into a sort of rhythm and groove and a feeling of the acceleration, knowing that you can just go for it as much as you want, accelerate as much as you like, and then when it gets a bit wet, you realise I'm going to have to play this a little bit more smarter. I'm going to have to be a bit more clued up, and I'm going to have to be a bit more gentle with the acceleration. No difference to Ride 4, MotoGP, or even any other car game for that matter. For the time being, we're talking MXGP, and it's still just as imperative as it would be even to use your own bike in real life, of course. But now with 1.5 laps remaining, we are in a wonderful position to take a victory here today. Look at that massive scrub. Oh, I almost covered my eyes. I thought I'd messed it up. I honestly thought I'd messed it up. I just really want to get the scrubs to work. I always seem to mess them up in MXGP, and I don't know why. I just seem to lack the ability to do it properly. I probably have to do some more effort in the compound and just try and work it out. But for the time being, leading this race, we won't be winning the Grand Prix with the amount of points earned, but we may be in the mix for potentially 4th, 5th, maybe 3rd, depending on the position the rest of the riders feature. I can't see any of the other riders right now, because Siwa, Powerland was definitely up there. He has a potential chance of winning the Grand Prix, and of course, if you're not a fan of MXGP, or if you're not aware of what that means, it basically means that Race 1 and Race 2's points are combined to equal 1 Grand Prix result. So you might win Race 1 or you might win Race 2, but you'll have to get the most amount of points to win the Grand Prix in its entirety. That's what it means by the Grand Prix win, of course. But Grant is up into 1st position, still in the final lap, 3 seconds to Jeremy Seewer and Yaskonis. So Yaskonis has actually got ahead of Gautier Powerland, so Powerland's chances are slipping away of taking the Grand Prix victory for the time being. Maybe he's going to fight back, maybe he's not, who knows. All that we know is that we are leading very, very comfortably. And of course, if you are enjoying the video up to this point and you're still here, I would suggest hitting that subscribe button, because clearly you must enjoy something about my content. Maybe the dulcet tones, maybe my riding, I don't know. But I would definitely advise for you to subscribe and join the Aces. We're on our hunt for our next milestone, which will probably be 2,500 subscribers, or maybe even 3,000 subscribers if we can get there. But for the time being, brilliant performance from us right now. I feel fantastic in these weather conditions. I do tend to find that Race 1 I might struggle to get onto the sort of the feeling and the feedback of the bike that I desperately require, and I've just made a mistake. Oh my god, I've just made a mistake. We are going to lose it. No way. Siwa is right there. Yaskonis is not too far behind. Have I just made an absolute massive blunder to give them a chance? I was just about to talk about how well it was going, and then that happened. It's actually Yaskonis who is hot on my trail right now. He is absolutely piping. If we were to touch him, we'd have 3rd degree burn, so we must not go anywhere near Yaskonis. We must defend with our life and just make sure that we can hold on to this position to take the victory. All these points make prizes, so it's vital that we take the best possible points for the best possible prize, of course. But now into the tabletop section, we have a wonderful chance of getting away from it. I think we've got the job done. I think I can breathe now. I think I can I can stop worrying. I generally thought we were going to blow that then, but it looks like we've got the job done. Massive wheelie, and I think we'll finish with a bit of a whip over the line. And you know what? I didn't even end up doing it. So guys, that's going to be race 2 victory for Matt Grant with the Yamaha, of course, and Yaskonis in the 2nd position, and Jeremy Seewer hung on for the podium finish. Powerland 4th, Geyser 5th, DeSalle, Koldenhoff, Jacobi, Tonnes, and Jeremy Van Horby takes 10th place. So at the end of the Grand Prix, we did actually hold on to 3rd place, but with Jeremy Seewer and Tim Geyser just taking 2 and 3 points respectively ahead of us, means that Jeremy Seewer wins the Grand Prix. Still a wonderful performance, and I'm very, very pleased with 3rd place in the championship battle because we did take 4 additional points away from Clermont DeSalle. So upon that note, guys, look at the championship standings. We're up by 14 points now, so not exactly comfortable for the time being, but it's still very early on in the championship. But guys, upon that note, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you had much fun as I've had making it, I would suggest for you to subscribe and even hit that like button as well. So I'll see you in the comment section for a bit of a chat, and I will also see you next time for another DrAce video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.